When you're together with someone who has an avoidant attachment style, it's only a matter of time before they say to you, I just need some space, or before they suddenly pull away without giving you a warning or a proper explanation. Is there something you can say or do to make them snap out of this? Both yes and no. In this video, I'll share 3 simple things you can do when an avoidant pulls away to bring them closer. But before we get into discussing solutions, you first need to understand something about this pattern in avoidance behavior. They all do this. They go from acting warm to being uncaring, only to get warm again. This stage, when an avoidant pulls away, it's called avoidant deactivation. If you haven't heard this term already, know that it's just a name for this thing all avoidants do when they pull away, take forever to respond, or get overall distant. There's a crucial truth about avoidant deactivation you need to understand to be able to respond to it the right way. Avoidant deactivation is a bit like an allergic reaction. I, for example, am allergic to cats. When I'm in a room with a cat, I get all itchy and start sneezing. When this happens, I'll try to take my allergy tablets right away, but it takes a while for them to kick in. So until then, I'll keep my distance from the poor cat. I'll ignore it, and if it jumps onto my lap, I'll push it down right away. Do you see the parallels here or not yet? The same way I react to cats, people with avoidant attachment can react to love. Avoidant deactivation is like an allergic reaction to intimacy, closeness, and bonding. Much like me with cats, an avoidant who deactivated will try to keep their distance and will reject most acts or expressions of love. You need to stop blaming yourself for avoidant deactivation. Much like a cat has nothing to do with my allergic reaction. It's not their fault at all. The same way, you're not to blame for when your avoidant partner deactivates. The things that can trigger avoidance to pull away can be so petty and harmless. It can be an emoji in a text message, or the simple fact that you want to talk to them or see them. Avoidant deactivation is an overreaction. It doesn't make any logical sense. Why does it happen? Why do avoidants get this way sometimes? Why isn't it all the time? They can be very loving and then become cold. Avoidant attachment stems all the way back from childhood, but past relationship experiences, of course, play a role in this too. Avoidants themselves aren't fully aware of what triggers them to deactivate. They also often don't realize that they are triggered. There are times avoidants deactivate because of something you said or did, but they can also deactivate after having some distance from you or after talking to their best friend. What not to do during avoidant deactivation. Remember, your partner is having an allergic reaction to love. Don't make this any worse for them and yourself than it already is. Number 1 rule for dealing with avoidant deactivation is do not expose them to any more love. This means no loving messages, no opening up to them, no vulnerability or weakness, no asking for reassurance, etc. You have to accept you're on your own right now. They're not in a state to help you out at the moment because they're having an allergic reaction to love, and your very presence can make it worse for them. So, what can you do when an avoidant pulls away to bring them closer again? Here I'll share 3 tested strategies that worked for me personally. My husband used to be an avoidant, and also for many of our coaching clients. When your avoidant partner deactivates, make other plans. This was my go-to response for whenever Gabriel, my husband, who used to be a dismissive avoidant, got distant. It would generally happen after a few days of us not seeing each other. I'd reach out asking if he wanted to do anything. He'd say no, he's too tired. I'd be upset, but I'd keep it to myself and proceed to make other plans with friends. The genius of this strategy is in what happens next. You see, when avoidants reject you, it's never a full no. They think of it as not right now, but maybe later. When an avoidant deactivates and doesn't want to make plans with you and you accept it and make yourself busy with something else, there's a good chance they'll end up texting you last minute saying something like, so you still want to do something? This is why it's so important that you're not just waiting around, but you make other plans. So when this moment inevitably arrives, you can text them right back. Oh, I'm out already. I made other plans. Rejection is the best treatment for avoidant deactivation. It's like an EpiPen for their allergic reaction to love. It alleviates their symptoms right away. And if you want it to be even more effective, you can use it twice in a row. Let's continue our hypothetical conversation. When you reject an avoidant, they instantly become more interested. There's a chance your partner might text you, "Want to swing by afterward?" This is when you can give them their second dose of the avoidant deactivation medicine by responding, "I'm honestly too tired." Rejecting an avoidant using the same excuse they used on you should relieve all of the symptoms of their deactivation and get them to make more effort again. It's a simple strategy that works like a charm. All it requires is for you to play it cool and live your life independently of your avoiding partner. But you don't always have to do the same thing. There's a second strategy for when an avoidant pulls away. Worm your way in with an act of kindness. This one is good if you know that your avoidant partner might be stressed or depressed, otherwise they don't really deserve it. You can't be too kind to an avoidant. It will only make them take you for granted. But let's say you know they're feeling down. Maybe something happened and you're feeling generous. You can get your avoidant to drop their guard down and let you in by offering to help them out with something. When an avoidant deactivates, they're allergic to love, but they're not allergic to friendship or other things, like, for example, pizza. This is the trick I used in our relationship. When I sensed Gabriel was getting distant, but I knew I could get him to snap out of it if we would just get a chance to hang out in person, this is when I'd worm my way in by playing it cool, but offering to bring him food I knew he liked. Acting strictly friendly, but doing something nice for an avoidant is a simple way to get their guard down. Some of my male coaching clients had the same success with this strategy by offering to help out in the yard or with building furniture. What's important here is that you don't overdo it. Otherwise, you get permanently friend-zoned and taken for granted. Some of you guys might have already tried both of the strategies I mentioned here, but maybe they didn't work. You didn't succeed at bringing your avoidant any closer. Maybe they even drifted away further. If this happens, you have no other choice but to resort to strategy number 3. Set boundaries and distance yourself. Avoidants like to push their partners to their limit and test their patience. They might continue happily letting you do things for them without giving much back, or let you take care of them and chase them without ever fully committing to you. If you don't stand up for yourself and call out your avoidant partner's behavior, they might never notice that they're doing something wrong. Just that deactivation means that your partner is allergic to love, so you can't relate to them as though they owe you something. You can't say, "I will not tolerate your uncaring behavior," or "I need you to communicate more." The only way you can call them out has to be by making them feel like you're giving up. So by saying something like, "I deserve better than this. It's not okay for you to ignore me. I will not be reaching out after this." Everyone who's dating an avoidant arrives at this point sooner or later. When you are fed up enough to stop keeping things together and being the bigger person. It's not okay for someone to keep your hopes up but never fully deliver on these hints. It's also not okay to ignore someone you supposedly care about. Avoidants are procrastinators with affinity for self-isolation. This isn't something you can fix for them, no matter how hard you might try. Remember, rejection is the most effective medication for avoidant deactivation. The biggest mistake I see people make with their avoidant partners is keeping the peace and not rocking the boat. By doing it, you're letting the avoidant be in control of you and your relationship. If you want them to worry about losing you have to be willing to risk losing them. This is something I talk about more in depth in this video. If you've been stuck not getting what you want in the relationship, you have to risk upsetting your partner and say, "This isn't working for me." And if they angrily reply, "Well, this isn't working for me either," You have to stick to your guns and call out their bluff. Avoidants like to play the game of chicken. If you let them win it time after time, they'll never need to come your way or change anything about themselves. If you want your avoidant partner to open up and respect you more, you have to win their respect by beating them at their own game. I know all this might sound overwhelming. Dealing with an avoidant partner is a tricky challenge. It requires you to step out of your comfort zone and do things that will feel out of character. If you yourself are leaning anxious or anxious preoccupied and are looking for a guide to navigate a relationship with an avoidant partner, be sure to check out our program, Attach and Avoidant. Here, we will give you step by step instructions on how to turn things around so that you can bring your partner closer and get them to open up to you more. We'll give you actionable advice and scripts you can use to break your patterns and change things for the better. I'll link it in the description for you guys. When I give people this third strategy as an option to set boundaries and distance themselves, they often say to me, I can't do it. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel genuine. If you want to make things work with an avoidant, you have to stop blindly following your heart. Think about it. It's just going with your own instinct that got you into this mess. Also, not every avoidant is worth all this effort, but some are. What's more, they actually need your help to break out of their own attachment issues. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. And if you're on the lookout for more attachment style advice, subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching and see you soon.